Hi, I'm Kaylin Guevara, and today I'll be discussing the art of dialogue and human connection in Before Sunrise. Richard Linklater's 1995 film Before Sunrise explores the art of human connection through conversation that spans the course of one day. We are merely spectators to this budding romance between Jesse and Celine, a spontaneous connection that even they knew would end before it could ever really begin, for the time they shared existed solely in this moment. What came from that night was a once-in-a-lifetime connection between two people who just 24 hours prior were complete strangers. This is the first film in the Before trilogy. Set against the backdrop of Vienna, the couple wanders around the city, stimulated by the richness of the arts, literature, history, and culture. It's hard not to fall in love in a city like Vienna, whose romanticism reflects back onto our couple as they get lost in each other's minds, sharing their deepest emotions and beliefs while pondering the meaning of life. Knowing that they're in the midst of an experience that is fleeting allows them to appreciate the transient nature of their encounter, serving as a reminder to seize the moment. Vienna is a backdrop that serves as a time capsule of their memories, which will continuously bring them back to the moment they shared, even after they're long gone. The time constraint they face prompts them to be more vulnerable as they confess their desires and fears with no judgment, and much quicker than one would naturally disclose if it weren't for these conditions. In a 2-hour film relying on dialogue, it is easy to grow tired or disinterested, but Linklater masterfully plays with the interchanging of serious and more playful tones to pull us right back into the nature of their relationship, which comes so naturally. Because the pair never imagined they'd cross paths again, which not only provided a sense of urgency to cut straight to the chase and right into the meaningful conversations, but it also allowed this release of inhibition. Who better to share all of your deepest, most profound thoughts and feelings with than a stranger that you'll never see again? The need to impress them is taken away, and the characters are allowed to just be themselves, to say whatever they're thinking because they can, because the person they are with is making them feel comfortable enough to do so. As Celine says,
"But isn't everything we're doing in life a way to be loved a little more?"
There's a genuineness from the very beginning that you don't always often see in romantic movies. Oftentimes, it feels like characters will put on a facade in order to charm their love interest, or outlandish stories and concepts are introduced that don't feel true to real life. So while Before Sunrise teeters with certain unrealistic elements, the characters still very much feel like real people because they're not putting on any sort of act, and their feelings towards the things that they're talking about are the same, or at least similar to how many of us feel about those topics too. Their observations on the world do not exist outside of our reality. So yes, even though the magical happenings of two strangers meeting on a train, deciding to spend a day together, and end up falling in love may feel like a foreign, unrealistic concept, it isn't such a crazy idea to believe far outside of the realm of possibility when their chemistry is so palpable, making any cynic believe in the possibility of love. The awkwardness between them, stolen glances, difference in outlooks, and the way they lead different lives all contribute to this realistic portrayal. There's no rush to tie everything up nicely in a bow, as we vicariously live through their day through their conversations as it comes. Linklater's use of long takes allows us to intimately connect with Jesse and Celine, as it feels as though we're beside them. Shots with no interruptions or cuts lets us experience this film for what it is, transcending us beyond the screen and into what feels like reality. This technique brings naturalistic performances from the actors, giving them the freedom to immerse themselves into their characters and engage in extended dialogue without traditional editing constraints. This simplicity feels unscripted and authentic, as the emotional depth is seen through their body language, facial expressions, and tension between them. Rather than focusing on elaborate set designs or visual effects, Linklater focuses on the genuine emotional aspects that the film revolves around. The beauty in its simplicity speaks for itself, allowing us to witness an evolving relationship that pulls us into the depths of curiosity, sensitivity, heartbreak, vulnerability, and human connection. It's a love story for the ages that leaves us wanting more from them, even though we know that moments are fleeting and all things end. But that doesn't stop us from appreciating those special connections that make us feel seen. Before Sunrise is a love poem from start to finish, encouraging us to put our hearts on the line in an effort to know ourselves and each other more intimately.